G'day everyone. Barkarati is now brought to you by Disruptor Marine Marketing, using AI to help your marine business grow. And our friends at Radix Nutrition, the most technically comprehensive nutrition products ever to exist. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where you get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP.
Yeah, it is that time of the week where you get to hang out with two idiot sailors, but it's that time of year where we get to hang out with the best. I mean, the harbour where I live is inundated by those 18s again, and we see them every Sunday, but the JJs are on starting today at time of recording, obviously. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm out doing a regatta this weekend, and I'm going to have one eye on the racing. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, there's plenty going on. Obviously, we just had Sail GP last weekend, so there is a bit to talk about on old Sydney Harbour. Let's see what the other bloke has to say.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Yeah. Oh well.
He is supposed to be here again. Did chat to him last night. He was all keen. He had discovered a new type of cocktail. So perhaps he's got a little bit distracted.
Are you able to elaborate on that a little bit? What was in the cocktail?
No, he did tell me, but I completely forgot. It sounded nice. They'd added Negroni to something. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, he's enjoying life. He's the head of the mizzen crew for the Super Yacht he's on, head of the mizzen crew.
I saw the photo, and I do know the boat, and
I
can tell you it is impressive. It's an impressive bit of kit, and if he's in charge of the mizzen crew, well, that's just a super yacht on itself.
Is that like there's too many jokes, I'm not going to do it, but yeah, mizzen crew. I mean, it's not something you put on your resume, is it?
No, I used to have a dog called Mizzen.
Oh, that's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, his father was bosun.
Got a nautical theme. All right, let's. I don't want to carry on the banter too long because we've got a veritable forest of people standing by ready to chat. Because as you alluded to, BP, JJ's, it's Friday as we record, very early in the morning, and we've asked some people to sacrifice their time to join us to talk about the JJs, which is effectively the World Championships for the 18-foot skiff class. It's all available for viewing if you just jump on to the 18's webpage. Some of the people might even be able to stay awake for it. It is very challenging early morning for these guys. But so the 18's are going to do full coverage as they normally do. So it'll be great watching. And we've got plenty of sailors that'll be competing, 27 boats, 6 different countries. There's all sorts of mixes in there. And we wanted to talk about it, highlight who the favourites are, and also highlight some of the stuff that will be going on throughout the fleet. So we've got a range of people to join us. One is Simon Nearn, who is formerly Commodore of the 18-footers League, now president, so has executive powers. I'm not sure what that means in the world of 18-footers, but we got Harvey Hillary. He's a former head of high performance and innovation for the British sailing team, Olympic coach, world championship sailor multiple times. And it looks like if we can wake him up, Fang Warren in the back corner there. Fang, many will remember, won a 29er world championships, I think in 2008 from memory, and it's the last two. Won the last couple of the JJs. So we've got a range of experience, all red hot. And so, yeah, we might just rip into it. I think we'll start with Simon. Simon, how busy are you?
Yeah, morning, boys. It was definitely the busy end of the year for us. But it's the exciting time of year, when we get to see our mates from overseas, boys coming down from Queensland. It's all hotting up. We're getting pretty excited.
I've got to say, Simon, I did bump into you last year, I think it was, and I said, we'll get you on the show. Well, it's finally happened. So, here we are. We know how exciting it is on the harbour, and for international listeners, the harbour, the harbour's special place on its own. But when you've got 30 18-foot skiffs buzzing around for a week, it's damn exciting. It's it's a big spectacle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's a busy harbour. So it's the 88th year. First won the JJ World Championship Trophy Regatta here in 1938. So it's got a bit of history, this event, and part of that history is dodging everyone out there on the harbour. So it's my World Championship. Another thing to win out on Sydney Harbour with ferries coming at you and gin palaces full of drunks and all sorts of people trying to race their own sail.
A very nice way to talk about big boat sailors.
So many cruise ships going in and out at the moment. It's crazy.
It's huge.
Wow.
It's busy.
And it's your 20th year in your role, I think, mate, and also the 90th year of the league, is it? So happy birthday all round.
Yeah, we're 90 years old. I think as of last year, this would be my 21st JJ I was sailing this year, but I've taken a year off. I think I've earned that after 20 years straight. So I'm not sailing, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to being a spectator. My son's racing, but there's some good talent out there. We've got a couple of 20 crews, Jacob Marks, Ben Crawford. We've got the female teams led by Emma Rankin and Beck Lewis. So there's a bit of variety. The Germans are coming in pretty keen. They've built a new boat and been on the harbour for a couple of weeks training. So they're looking pretty hot. And then we've got a stalwarts of our fleet now. The guys on Balmain, Henry Larkins, got Tom Cunick coming through on Lazarus. There's Keegan York's got a new boat and Sean Partners. I think it's going to be a pretty tough fleet to get in the top 5 as always. And then the podium, well, who knows? That's in 10 days' time and a lot of racing to be had. So we'll see.
It's exciting. A lot of racing. You dropped a lot of names in there as well. You did mention the guy sitting next to you, so that's interesting. We're cutting him out for the moment, but I do want to say
we'll flick to him in the moment. But yeah, he's just won 2 on the trot, so I don't think you can ignore the mighty with Louis Brake and Fang, and this year with Herman winning on the tiller.
Herman. Jeez, I saw, right, so let's just go through I saw Tommy Needham the other day, hung out with him for a few days. I spent the weekend chatting to Emma Rankin and trying to talk her up and say you're going to dominate. So old Tommy Cunick, a young lad I used to coach when he was in his teens. He's still growing his pubes. So I've had a whisper in a few ears there, but so I have to go, Fang. You seem to, you and Louis have been on fire, and it doesn't matter who they put on the stick. You guys just lead them around. So does it matter who's steering? If Herman's back in the boat, I mean, he's won it a couple of times before. So, what's your thoughts on the whole situation with the Yandoo?
Oh, it's a bit of a late change, but over the past couple of years, I think over the past 5 years, from sailing with Woody and then to what it's evolved to Yandoo, it is basically a skill in adapting to sailing with people, and it's something myself and Louis have picked up on and have had to sort of get our heads around pretty quickly. So yeah, no, it'll be a bit of a challenge because it's a late change, but it's something we're looking forward to as well. So
I guess you and Louis are sort of, you're almost one mind. You've been together now quite a while, and when the skipper gets on the boat, it's a bit like bar karate. 2 of us gang up on one other and just pick on him a bit, and then he comes into line.
Yeah, pretty much. We're quiet, so if you hear a bit of silence from us, they basically go quiet anyway.
Yeah, good. That's the way.
Well, obviously, we all love to watch the coverage, right? And one thing that's pretty evident about the Yandoo is that there was a whole bunch of rig development over the last, probably in that 5-year period, where the boat, you did some sail development and you came out and, just some of the stuff you've done looked really, really good. And now you found that pace. You guys have got great pace. Other people have copied it. I think the other sail makers are doing their own version of it now, but you guys, and then not only did you find speed, but then suddenly, the crew work's just got better and better and better. And so there's just that, what I talk about in sailing is ruthless efficiency when it comes to executing manoeuvres. And you guys seem to have that. Like, you guys just keep just doing everything right. So is that your secret?
Is that sorry?
Is that the secret? The rig development. Tell us about that process. Was that you guys, or was it Woody, or like, how did that go?
I think it actually came about through Sean Langman a couple of years ago, and through CTEC. So the mast evolved more into like an elliptical shape now, more than round as it was before. And once we found out it worked, the whole fleet, the 18s as a club has shifted to putting all those masts on every boat. So they're basically, they're a super close one design boat now, I'd say. Like the CTEC masts that they're making are so well made. They're all coming out basically identical. So then the sail development was more our side, like setting up the sails and putting shape where we wanted it based off what we felt when we were sailing. So, yeah, over the past 3 years, Louis and I have just sort of been feeding back between each other and where, we want to push the shape in the sail, like the luff curve, the mast setup, the bend, and then making the sails to that. And then we've basically, I think, found sort of an extra gear in the class and then be implemented to everyone. So now everyone steps up. So it's good for the class, and it's good for everyone involved.
It was absolutely noticeable a couple of years ago, the step up, but now you can sort of see that it's dragging everyone along with you guys. So it's pretty cool to get to see the level of sailing. How do you think you progress to the next stage? Obviously, because you have that little bit of in front in terms of research and development, but you've got to try and find another way here.
Yeah, I think for sure it's going to be harder this year. Like everyone, it's like anything. If you raise the bar, you bridge that gap for people to close.
Yep.
And that's a good thing. It keeps it challenging. I think it still just goes back to the basics. Like, you just got to do fundamental things well and do it every day. Like, as Nearn said, it's a pretty long regatta, the JJ. It goes over 10 days, and it's a difficult place to sail the harbour, and the races can be up to an hour and a half, and it's an hour and a half you got to concentrate for over a 10-day period. So it's not just like one little thing. It's doing basic things well the whole week, especially when it's hot.
Yeah. So, Simon, what's the forecast, mate?
I've had a look. I don't trust the forecast much anymore. I think we'll get a bit of everything. I think it'll be a bit lighter tomorrow. First race, so practice race today, invitation race today, first race tomorrow, Saturday. I think it'll be lighter, maybe a bit of noise in it. And then Saturday, we're looking at, might get a southerly in on Sunday. So, that could upset again. Second race in, everyone's maybe a little bit overexcited or a little bit rusty, and boom, you got 20 knots plus of southerly coming down the harbour. So we'll be playing on. And then for next week, I don't look, it's too far out to sea. Hopefully we get a bit of everything. We've certainly got some light wind specialists in there. You mentioned Emma Rankin, she's won a few this year.
Yeah. She's the other one that's jumped out to me over the last couple of years that seems to get better and better is the Prince. On the Black Knight, he seems to have found a bit of form. Obviously, we've had a big step up with the Balmain team, so that's a pretty solid team. Henry Larkins, Tommy Grimes and Lockie Pryor. Emma, I was talking to Emma and she was saying how she's got two consistent crew this year, which is Brandon and Jed, where she didn't have that in the past, and that's making a difference. I'm just trying to think who else has jumped out in my eye throughout the year. There's obviously quite a sort of change in who's going on.
Right.
But
Keegan's always up there battling away.
Keegan, yeah. So he has his flashes of brilliance.
He's got Max Paul on board, who's no slouch. Tommy, who's been at the front of the 18 fleet for many years. You couldn't get a better hand on the bow. So they'll be one to watch. I think it's interesting you mentioned Emma and her crew and the and Heinrich, our friendly prince from Bavaria. I think anyone who's won the JJs will tell you need consistency in your crew and your team to be able to get to that level. And those German boys have been sailing together, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, Fang, and they're just getting better and better with that. So they'll definitely be one to watch.
And the other thing that's jumped out to me is the Queensland teams. The Queensland teams have clearly been training. There is a state of origin play going on here. I think the boys, there's 3 boats. You see them at RQ out training all the time. So it's the Brisbane 18-footers, the Bigfoot bags and covers, skippered by Dave Hayter, who's as Queenslander as me. Spent many years in South Australia, young Dave. So I don't know what we'd call him. We call him sort of half and half. And then our favourite boat in the whole fleet, the Joel Turner and his Cunninghams, his twin Cunninghams. I don't know if you guys are across the banter that we had about Bossy
Holy God.
the Cunninghams. But, so the Queensland boys, I reckon, have put in – they've done a lot of information sharing and very, 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 very keen to put something to them. And the GC Sales, they had a pretty good club race a couple of weeks ago.
Well, those 3 boats turned up to the Nationals and shook it up. I think they gave the Double Bay locals a bit of a fright. You know, we got a bit complacent down here racing against each other every week, and the Queenslanders came down and you know, really showed their mettle. So I think you're right. I think that'd be definitely ones to watch.
Then there's the occasional dark horse. There's this boats that just, you know, are thrown together. We bring a lot of overseas people. Are there any overseas teams apart from the Prince that we can talk about?
In terms of being super competitive, they'd be the pick for sure. We've got a US team joined. I don't know much about Mikey, Brad and those boys. They've definitely done a lot in 14s. They've done some 18 sailing. You know, you get the right conditions. They've got the old Yandoo, so they've got a pretty good boat. They could be an interesting wild card.
A US team. What's the name of that one?
That'll be under the Yandoo sponsorship.
Okay.
And USA.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually saw them out yesterday, last night, Thursday night training. So,
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
They just flew in yesterday. The Danes are coming in. They're struggling to get through the Middle East at the moment. I think they're getting a flight in this morning through Bangkok. So they're coming in hot.
That's Bad Naven, the Vikings.
And the Vikings.
Yeah.
And then you've got, Harvey and his team, Stu and Ian out of the UK.
That's a good segue, Harvey. Let's bring you in, my friend. Obviously a man of great record and experience. Tell us about your boat.
Well, we were thrown together at the last minute. Just thanks for getting me on, guys. It's a privilege to be on. Really cool. I got a phone call 6 weeks ago saying, would you like to do the JJ again from an old friend that I hadn't seen for about 10 years? And Simon was kind enough to put a boat out for us. And it was a really last minute thing to get together with 2 Musto skiff sailors, Ian Tobel and Stuart Keegan. And then they pulled the old man out. So I'm in my 50th year now, and I haven't done the JJ for 20 years. I did 4 in a row back in the early 2000s. And that's, for me, it was another bucket list event. That's actually it's not a bucket list because I've done it already, but it was something I'd held in such high esteem. And if I got the chance to do it again, I was going to jump at it because it's a pretty special event to sail. And the boats are, I've done a lot of 14 sailing, a lot of other classes, but it's such a physical, big boat to sail, and in the harbour, just the backdrop, it's exceptional. So I know the club are helping put together some charter boats in the future, and they're trying to build this initiative to try and bring in foreign teams to be able to take part in this event. And I think for amateurs all around the world who would love to aspire to do this event, I think it's a great opportunity to just reach out to Simon and get involved.
So Fang's talked about all the rig development, sail development they've done and working on luff curves and shapes and how they like that. Obviously, just jumping into a borrowed boat, you don't have that opportunity. Would have you just gone through the spares bin? Is that how it's worked, or lost property?
Yeah. Well, we didn't go through the spares bin. Simon went through the spares bin. We were putting together. I don't think the plan in the future is for the charter boats to be put together at the last minute. So we've been desperately trying to get a rig that sits in the boat properly, and then trying to get a set of sails to match that. We've had a huge amount of help from the fleet. Ewan McNichol's been really helpful in just trying to get us, in the ballpark. We self-sabotaged yesterday. We made a couple of changes and made it worse. So we're going backwards today to try and get ourselves roughly in the ballpark.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, you know what it's like. You go to a regatta and you're on the back foot and you're spending more time in the boat park than you really want to be doing, trying to get everything in the right place. Not spending as much time in the water as we'd like to, just because we're trying to get, roughly in the right place with the rig.
And have you been able to do much training?
So we've had 2 sails, and our bow, that was his first day ever 18 sailing was yesterday.
Right.
That was pretty entertaining.
Was your first sail?
Let's draw that picture a little bit. And how did that pan out?
Well, actually, we went out with Simon because our helm Bob was late coming in, so Simon took us out, and he had some pretty creative words of encouragement, and he spent 45 minutes calling Stu the wrong name, but it's actually quite hard trying to get some good footage. But yeah, it's hard trying to get some good training footage to try and work out, what all the manoeuvres look like for somebody new.
Yeah,
really.
And in fact, in a lot of classes, you'd be able to really get hold of some pretty good stuff. But that's been a little bit challenging to try and get some good footage and try and work up some routines around all the manoeuvres.
Yeah,
but yeah, for his first day, poor Stu was it was a real baptism of fire, top end of big rig. You should have seen his face when the kite loaded up for the first time. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a wild feeling, that's for sure. And so he come off the water and he sort of went, okay, let's give this a crack.
Yeah, he was a tired boy, and coming from, he sailed a bit of 14s before, and the kites are so different. And we took him round the Shark for the first time and got him to give it a good curl and a bit of a flap and a flag, and that was he was like, wow, this is just incredible. And certainly that's one of the fondest memories for me. Kind of back in the past, doing bow is such a cool position on the boat.
So you're set up and rig, like if we're trying to spot you on the TV, what like you've got a range of different things, like as you said, it's from the spare parts bin and it's sort of all very last minute, but it's a bit of fun. And hopefully, how do we
we'll get the
identify
sticker
you?
on today, and you might be able to identify us with a Barkarati sticker on the foot of the main. Because in the spirit of Barkarati, we thought it would be pretty cool to get some publicity for you guys.
Yeah, well, that's very kind. So the poorest podcast, the podcast that gives all the money away, and so. So the boat's racing is Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast, and that's down to you guys approaching us, and so thank you. And I have to say, all the work that's I think probably Pat Langley from Vycobi's probably contributed the most out of anybody to this whole campaign. So, which is not unusual with Pat. He's pretty generous, especially in the 18 fleet.
And being a huge supporter of the 18. So we love having him on board. He's a great lad, Pat.
Yeah, big shout out to Vycobi for sure.
Yeah.
Just asking about what Harvey's he's actually got Keegan's old rig, so he's got the Finport rig.
Oh yeah.
On the number 1 sails. So I'd be interested to see how that goes. I don't know if you just to touch on how it works at the 18s, but we're pretty unique. We own all the boats in the fleet.
Yep.
And then we contract the sailors to come sailing. And bizarrely, one of the hardest things for us every year is to find 60 willing and able 18 sailors that want to come and do this every weekend. So I want to get that out there, that we're always looking for talented skiff sailors or wannabe skiff sailors that want to come and join us. We want an academy program for that as well.
Fantastic.
And then we replace sails every 2 years, so you get 3 new sails every year. So Keegan's old rig is what they've got now, and they might be surprised. It's pretty big, so you get some sort of sub 10 knot weather, and there could be a little flying machine on that boat.
I hope so. We all hope so. I'm sure Harvey's about to say those exact words. But one of the things that I think about when I watch the coverage is, there's all this, you've got to go into this corner in this breeze, and you've got to, then you've got to cut across here and stuff. And then I remember Chris Nicholson jumping on one day and just sailing like a normal dinghy race and gapping the boat until he capsized. And I wonder, Harvey, with your sort of level of knowledge, whether just sailing the boat like a dinghy might be that little difference that sailing the fleet rather than the geographical elements is, I guess, what I'm trying to say, because you're not going to know the geographical elements.
No, although it's crazy. It's quite similar to Sydney Harbour where we sail at home.
Right.
I didn't actually get round to getting Archie to help me put together a call book because he came out and did the 18s a few years ago. But I think partly there's still about just understanding some of the key features that you need to target around the racecourse, and then outside of that, then we can just sail them like normal dinghies. But I know while we're just getting to grips with that, the first couple of days we're going to be we could be in the wrong places on the racecourse.
Just reduce number of tacks and jibes is what you're going through at the moment, isn't it? You're in that stage.
Oh, maybe a little bit, yeah. Just trying to get it fast in a straight line at the moment.
So Fang and Simon, just from that, like for the outsiders, like remember this is global, it's going all around the world. For the people watching, what are the idiosyncrasies on the harbour? Like, are there a few little tricks? You don't have to give them away, but you can sort of allude to things, perhaps.
I'll let Fang talk about the sailing. He's got a lot more of a success book on that than me. But just bringing back up the harbour itself and all those boats out there, especially on a weekend, cruise ships, ferries coming through, it's a thing. Harbour management is a thing. You think you're leading, suddenly you come a cropper. I'm going to throw anyone under the bus, but there was definitely someone that could have won the JJs a few years ago that got too close to the front of the Manly Ferry, which is a coal eggs issue. A lot of space from that. So all these things play a part. And you reckon you'll be out there racing as well on the weekend, along with a lot of other sailing boats. So there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on, and it's probably a good point to raise with the international listeners that all sailing vessels have to give way to the ferries, except for the smaller fast ferries. But the bigger ferries and the Manly ferries and that are actually do actually have rights. And so if you're seeing that on the coverage, you can sort of anticipate what's going to happen. You can actually see all the sailors thinking about it, because it does make a huge difference in some cases. And the air that they, especially in lighter airs, and the air that they drag along behind them is it's sometimes it destroys you.
Yeah, the ones with the orange day shape, the little orange triangle, diamond day shape. It's even in the notice of race, the whole ferry thing. Like there's a full diagram in the notice of race on what you have to understand.
Big deal. We race on the harbour at Her Majesty's pleasure, or the Maritime, or whoever's in charge of the place. So we've got to behave ourselves out there. That's the racetrack, and then the idiosyncrasies I'll hand to Fang. But we race different courses according to wind conditions, and they've all got a little bit going on.
Just Simon, you made me laugh, mate. You're giving your age away there. You've grown up like me with the Queen for nearly your whole life, and you said Her Majesty rather than His Majesty, I think. But
I'm not there yet.
It's a hard move, isn't it?
I've been in Australia 20 years, and I can't support the cricket team either, so I'm a slow mover.
Well, don't bring up the cricket.
Oh, dear.
That'll lead to rugby.
Yeah. What do you think, Fang? Like if we're talking about the harbour and how you look at it.
Like obviously, the ferries are a big thing. I've gone in backwards a few times off the back of them. It's really hard to tell where the wind shadow is sometimes, and how fast or how fast and what way it's moving. Like last year, we were going upwind in a southerly, and I reckon we were probably 150 metres like to leeward of the ferry, and then we got sucked over to windward and like turtled going upwind. But we thought we were far enough away from it, it was fine. Sometimes it's just, I don't know, like it can be where you are in the harbour, and definitely the wind strength plays a part on where the wind shadow goes and how quickly it goes as well. Like it's sort of okay when it's light. It's pretty dangerous when it's 12, 14 knots full power, and then you're going like in a nor'east and you're going past the back of a ferry on like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah,
then
that's
wider. Then
Yep.
all of a sudden you're full trap, and then Louis like on the other side, hanging off the leeward trapeze.
Yeah.
105 kilos, and we're still not, still.
and then you've got the prop wash, which can spin you around.
Yeah, then you can get sucked either way.
Yeah.
So,
Harvey's taking notes here, but then there's obviously that little thing. If you're going too deep into Bradley's in the nor'easter, you're going to go into a hole, but you're all trying to hook that little lefty, and then there's all how far you can go in close to the rocks. My old mate Hugh Stoddard, I think, has got a rock named after him, where I think he put the express post straight into that at full noise. So, there's all those.
That's actually a gap there. George's Head, is it down there? I can't remember. George's Head. So the theory is there's a gap close. If you go close enough in, you won't hit the gap on the outside. And yeah, you're right. Hugh I think it was on the Asco anyway. He went for that gap, and either it doesn't exist or he mistimed it a bit, because it's a hell of a photo.
Yeah, it's a hell of a photo. He's a precise young lad too, so I'm intrigued. As the fact that that's going to stick with him forever would be very frustrating for Hugo. So there is all those idiosyncrasies. But from your perspective, Fang, like when you're looking at the fleet, are you focusing in on any boats, or you're just totally inward focused and just execute and then see how it falls out?
on yourself. If you look around at everyone, you'll sort of trip over. So, yeah, I think we'll just go out, concentrate on ourselves, and then you probably start looking around and seeing where you're at towards the end of the regatta a bit more so.
Yeah.
Later in the week.
Yeah, it's sort of the risk level as you get, how deep you are or how many firsts you've got is going to change that. Harvey, from your perspective, are you going to start conservative, or are you guys obviously you pull together the boat? Are you guys going to be maybe on the edges more, or you're just going to see how you go on boat speed first?
Oh, we haven't lined up with anyone yet, so who knows? But you starting's the same in any boat, so we'll get that bit right, try and hold a lane, and then see how things work out. But probably the biggest challenge for us is because we're so new to the boat, all the focus is in the boat, just trying to sail it, and it makes it very hard to get your head out of the boat. And the ability to sail that boat automatically just makes so much difference. So we'll probably be making a lot of mistakes. We'll be missing ferries that we should have seen earlier and making bad judgments, calls on closing speeds. I'm sure we'll get ourselves in a right mess, but hopefully we'll get better every day, and we'll get better at reading those things. And for us, it's just trying to make sure that there's a little step forward after each day.
It's cool. So Simon, for you, bud, how many races? For the viewers? How do people follow? As you said, there's obviously opportunity for skiff sailors to come and join the fleet from future years. But if people, if people are interested now, how many races are going to be on?
So we do one on Saturday, one on Sunday. We break on Monday with a spare day or lay day, and then we race Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, lay day on Friday. I don't know if that's for an extra race day. It's because the Thursday night's always the rag and famish night, so that's why we have Friday. I don't know, it's a bit of a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, and then it all wraps up the following Sunday, the 15th. To watch it, absolutely, yeah, it's all live broadcasted. Jimmy Bury and his team on Sail Media do a great job on that, and we'll be putting out some sort of news items through the week. But it's on YouTube, or you can find it through 18footers.com. The live stream's there, and the ferry's there. We've got the ferry going out every day at 2:00 for a 2:45 start. So 2:45 start every day. If you're in Sydney, get on the ferry, come and watch it live. And if you
which I've got to say, if you are in Sydney and you do have the time, come down, because that is a wonderful day. It is you can whack a couple of bob on a boat, and you can have a very enjoyable afternoon.
I mean, the worst thing in the world's happened to me this week. I've got to fly down to Sydney for a work thing, coming in on a Sunday the week after, literally the week after the JJ's finish. I could have had that Sunday sitting out on the ferry, adding constructive criticism and advice to all the boats as they go by, because they appreciate that. And no, I miss it. So I miss it by a week, and I'm very frustrated at work that I might even call in sick for that week because I'm so grumpy not being able to go down and see some of the JJ action. It is quite a thing that you've created over the 90 years. There's been phases of 18s. Obviously the old rule was there were only 2 rules in 18s. It had to be 18 foot long, and it started at 2:45 or whatever it was, or 2 o'clock. But that's evolved now with the One Design fleet to keep the costs down. Obviously with sail development, and it's working. Like you've created this little Sydney-centric thing with the 18s. As Harvey says, they're super cool and exciting. I remember sailing an 18 because I was sort of dragged in once back in the super skiff era, and I remember sailing past a Sharpie and looking. The jib on the 18 I was sailing on was bigger than the Sharpie main. There was 3 people on the Sharpie, there's 3 people on the 18, and the jib was bigger than the Sharpie main, and it just sort of, it gives you some sense of how big these things are and how much power these boats have. They're pretty cool boats.
They're pretty cool. Do you know, from the outside, looking at what the club's done, it's amazing how many young people there are sailing in the fleet. Mm-hmm. And I think globally, we've got a challenge trying to keep 20 to 25-year-olds sailing. And it's really impressive to see that just the way the league sets up the loan boats. There's something there that I think other countries can learn from, especially just reflecting on how few skiffs or trapeze boats are now still getting good fleets out racing. And, in Australia, you've got the 16s and the 18s doing, a really good example of how you keep young people in the boat.
I think it's a really good point, Simon. You just touched on it then, and Harvey and your team, you're an example of it. If you are listening to this or you're watching the coverage, and it's something that does interest you, then I'm sure if you reach out and Simon, back me up here, that everyone will go out of your way to try and get you involved. So yeah, if you are interested, contact them and give it a crack. Yeah,
we're easy to find. Sailing at 18footers.com. Can't get much simpler than that. And there's a good European fleet too. We'll send 8 boats over to Europe this year for the Europeans in Garda. We've got 2 boats that live over there. We're trying to build a small fleet over there. Part of that is this whole shipping nonsense. If anyone's doing any international sailing, they'll know what I'm talking about. Yep. Get your boat there in time. Can you get it back? The Europeans last year came to the JJs, didn't get their boats back in time for the Garda. So they didn't get their boats back till July. Mm. And ours over last year, we didn't get them back to the start of our season. So that's all getting a bit tricky. Not going to help any further with what's going on in the Middle East at the moment. So to have these charter boats available is kind of our way around that. If you can't boat hit a lot of fuel. We're better decommissioning, but we've got plenty of good gear in the fleet. So we're that international flavour going. We've got a really good, strong support in Europe, and we want to. And the Kiwis. You haven't even mentioned the Kiwis on this show. There's 3 Kiwis come over. That's
right. We'll just roll on for that. No, just jokes. They're super strong. Always have been. And
young Eli, I think he's probably the one to watch out of those. But the ASSC boys did a pretty good job last year too. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, they did have a dominant period in the JJs. I think from memory, they were that was the Dave McDermott era, wasn't it? When it was 2018 to 2020 on the Honda Marine. That's the one?
Honda Marine, yep.
Yeah,
my memory of it had that dominance. You're talking about the European thing. I think, Simon, I'm guessing that's how you came in the old B18 days. Is that how you joined into the 18 world?
Yeah. So I came through 14s, and then we got super excited when Dave Ovington Julian came up with this B18 idea, and we had a great few of those in the UK.
Yeah.
We had a Grand Prix circuit with, some names you might remember, like sort of Neil McDonald and Laurie Smith and Deb Elliott, Andy Hemmings, Adrian Stead. It was that era. Ian Walker. That was the sort of us of that age group.
Wow.
Going, these look cool. Let's get sailing these.
Some of those blokes didn't have a very great career, did they? Holy shit. Oh. Neil McDonald. I mean, there are so many names in that little group that's just outstanding. So, Fang, just from you, bud, I want to just check. Obviously, you came up through that youth skiff thing. So with your pathway into the 18s, like, was it always the 18s for you, or were you thinking Olympics and 49ers? Like, what was your intent in life plans when it came to sailing?
Wasn't really sure. I just sort of love skiff sailing. I'm from Western Australia, so myself, Tom Johnson, Parko, Steve Thomas, we all grew up sort of in the same little group in Perth.
Yeah.
And we all went like flying ants, 29ers, 49ers, and then sort of dispersed from there. And they have obviously gone on to Volvo Ocean Races and Sail GP and what have you. But when I got into the 49er, I started sailing with Parko off the back of the 29er. Actually, off the back of the 29er Worlds, I think it was in like 2008. I went to I flew back home to Perth, and like a day or two later, I was at Mounts Bay and I ran into Grant Rolson. And so I went,
as everybody does.
I was only 17 at the time, and then I went for a quick sail with him. And then 2 weeks later, my first race on an 18 was the first race of the JJ.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of an experience to learn a few new words. And I didn't realise until about 3 years ago that the best part of Rollo's day was when he got in, before he even strapped the boat down, was going around and telling everyone what Jack Young had said to me that day. I don't think they called my name once the whole week, so it was a bit of a different era back then. But it was a cool, step into the 18s. But as a kid, I always watched those awesome Aussie 18 skiffs, like Dave Witt and Chris Nicholson, Julian Bethwaite. They're always in my mind like the boat I wanted to sail. So yeah, then I went into 49ers, and I was pretty lucky that I got to sail and do all the training with Nathan Goobs and Emmett leading up to the London Olympics, and then sort of rolled into another campaign in Rio. But I think, yeah, the 49er stuff makes you a pretty good sailor, but it's pretty serious. And in 2020, I think when COVID was just starting, I got back into the 18s, and because I hadn't actually done a season before then, I'd only done JJs, I'd never done an actual season. And Woody rang me up and asked me to come over, and I think I fell in love with sailing again after sailing with Woody and Berger. After the first races, just it was such a fresh breath of air. Just learning, being around Woody, learning from Woody, a bit of wisdom and life skills, but also just being out there in the harbour and actually enjoying your sailing. So the 18s for me has really fallen into a place where it's made me enjoy sailing again. And what the club provides, it basically provides a free boat that you can go sailing every weekend over summer when the wind is good against your mates who come and do the same thing. It's a pretty awesome thing to be able to do. And I think probably one of my only regrets is not doing more seasons earlier in my 20s.
Yeah, right.
I think I didn't do my first season until I was 30. And yeah, now here we are, still doing it because I like it.
It's
good words. It's good words because enjoying your sailing is number one priority, obviously. So I was only saying yesterday that the fun of sailing can sometimes get lost with that competitive, win-win-win attitude. And I guess getting out there having fun, and winning, I mean, that makes it fun, but it does add to it. Yeah,
I think definitely getting to know Woody and as well, being from Western Australia, I think the great thing with sailing and the 18s is you form such good relationships when you travel. So now, I got a really good relationship with Nearny. I got a really good relationship with Rollo, James Beck. there's a couple of guys around in Sydney who you can always rely on. So, yeah, for me, coming from Western Australia, the relationships have been really important. And, and again, enjoying the sailing. And when you're enjoying the sailing, you really want to try and do better, which I think has over the past couple of years sort of been proven. When you're enjoying it, you want to get better and you want to keep doing it. And I've just been also lucky to have the support of Woody with Yandoo and the club, and Emma, my girlfriend now. we just had a kid at the start of the 18 season this year, so I've been driving up on Sunday mornings and then sometimes flying back on Sunday nights after sailing, or Monday mornings. He's sort of been holding the front.
John, where are you based, mate?
I'm down. I work at the wooden boat shop down in Sorrento for Phillips, Tim and Sally Phillips. And I go out with their daughter, Emma Phillips, and Emma's brothers, Will and Sam, the 49er guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sort of fly up on the weekends.
A little bit insular, a bit like your career in Western Australia. I do want to highlight a couple of points out of that, obviously being Western Australia. And Western Australia has its own history in the 18s. So the first wing on the 18s was Richard Court, who he did the sliding wing. And for those in the political world, Richard Court went on to be the Premier of Western Australia. So that's how important...
How's the knowledge, boys? How is the knowledge?
That's how important sailing is. In fact, I remember Richard putting the sliding wing on, and I think you had the Nationals or something over in West Oz at one stage, and that was a bit of a game changer. But Western Australia, and that little bunch that you're talking about of all your mates there, four of them, I think, went off and did the match racing thing and ended up the Swedish mafia of Aussies over there, which is, I think, what you're talking about, Fang. I was talking to Dave Gilmore literally on the weekend. He would have been...
Guys I didn't mention, sorry, from Perth as well.
Yeah, part of that gang. So, so for me, what I think BP and I have picked up on the same thing. BP's mentioned it already. That joy of the sailing, and the 18's giving you that, and that's it's working out very well. I mean, for me, BP, I'm looking at Harvey, right, and he's just got a smile on his face the whole time, like just sitting here in this interview. Nearny, not so much. I'm not sure. We might have to paint a smile on your face, bud. But
I'm not saying HJ's, man. I got full FOMO. I'm sitting here full FOMO.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to bring that up. I mean, not sailing, it must be a bit of a weird thing for you.
It's super weird. I was lucky enough to sail with my son last year, 16 years old, his first JJ.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Fang came with us and we did Garda, which was just amazing. And then he pretty much turned around and said, "That was awesome, Dad. Thanks. Can I go save my mates now?" So he's on the wagon,
off.
guns, and I was faced with having to put a new crew together. Never really got my act together. Too busy this year, but never.
It's you're going to be able to. There's a whole audition going on in front of you. That's the way I'd treat this JJ's from your perspective. You'll be able to audition and see all the people coming in and jumping on boats and going, "Yeah, okay, that's some talent. I can pick that one up," and do it that way. This is your breakthrough year, mate.
It could be. Watch out, 27. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look back over the last couple of years. Woody sailed forever, and obviously now he's out of the fleet. But it does that you could probably mirror that line and keep sailing for a bunch of years if you put your mind to it, I suppose.
Well, I think I might have been the oldest I'd sailed this year. I'm trying to think who is. Howard's Hayter. He must be getting on a bit.
Dave Hayter.
Yeah,
it'd be about. It'd be close to 60
as well. So there's definitely some. We've got a stretch. I think the youngest boy is on board is 17, and then all the way through to 60. So that's saying footer sailing for you. That's pretty cool, I think.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah. It is very cool. I mean, the other thing that is cool is in the skiff world, particularly, we're seeing the women doing well. It makes me happy to see that. I was, Emma, such a nice young lady, and I was so happy to see how well she's been going, and I kept saying that to her. So I think that is something that we need to push more, like you put a couple of heavy blokes on with people like Emma and they can have results. And so the more we can do that, the better.
smart too. You know, they're not super heavy. I mean, I saw Brando a couple of years ago only be 80 kilos. It's more about, you know, managing it in the heavy winds. So you watch Emma. You know, she might reef down. She might take a conservative start. Everyone else is flailing around in 20 plus knots, and there she just sails through the finish line. I'll take a fifth. Thanks very much.
Yep.
And you know, on the lighter days, you know, she sniffs out the breeze, gets her nose in front, and there's a top three. Thank you very much. So she's smart.
I've got to say, when I did a couple of races in the 18, one of the biggest things I took out of the fleet was you just got to finish to win, and there was so many times, and we were never up the front. Obviously, did a couple of races back in the day, and you know you see the guys out there fanging around and going. Sorry, Fang didn't mean to say that. Fanging around, and you know the lead boat all of a sudden's in the water upside down, and you're next to them, and you go past them, and you know you've sort of beaten them. So finishing the race is 90% of it.
Yeah, certainly on those big Sydney days, you know, you get a solid southerly or one of those great nor'easters. Yeah, it's all on for sure.
Harvey, for you, but you've come from probably one of the most professional 14 campaigns around. Where you guys, Archie, you. I think Dan Wilson was on board for a while doing the same program. You've sort of come in late. So from a ego perspective, you're going to have to tuck that away, I guess. Or you haven't tucked that away yet?
No, well, 100%. I'm here to really enjoy the opportunity to sail the boats, and you've got to be realistic, and you come in knowing we're so much on the back foot, and it's just about getting those expectations right, and we'll just keep hanging on in there and trying to get better each day. And I've just got Archie texting me now at home. He's pretty jealous. He'd like to be out here actually. Yeah. He really misses doing this. He did a season out here. He might have done 2 seasons actually. I think he had a second in the JJ. And he'd love to come back and do it again. So maybe we get the opportunity to do that together. But we're mixing around doing lots of different sailing at the moment. We tried to do the archipelago raid last year. And of course Emma was there for that, which was but we had a little bit of an accident on the way out, and
we had the commentary on that. That was cool.
We didn't manage to make the start line, but this year we've bought a 505, and we have swapped round. I knew you'd love that. Yeah. So I'm Archie, and his I'm amazed he's done it, but he's allowed me to steer, and he's now getting super excited about the boat and what you can do with the boat, and where the opportunities might be to move it on, and there's going to be a really big fleet in Hailing Island for the Worlds in July.
Yep.
So we are as soon as I get back from this event, we're head down trying to learn to sail that boat.
And get that burnt imprint of Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast, out of your head after looking at it for a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ignore Barkarati, ignore the 18s. You're going 5-0 sailing. Like obviously, I've picked up. Yeah. But
I hadn't sailed one of those boats for a long, long time, and just it's incredible how fast they are downwind. Actually, I was really surprised. And coming from a skiff to jump in a 5-0, they're a lot of fun, just amazingly smooth boats to sail. Really, really cool.
Well, we'll go offline about 5-0 conversation because it's not fair on the 18 JJ conversation. But the pathway to the front of the fleet, there's a lot of work there. But anyway, I
know the U18 sailors at that 5-0 Worlds, so that's for sure. There'll definitely be a few characters from the 18s cropping up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the great classes to sail, like the 18. It's like there's 2 classes that everyone fantasises about sailing. Probably not Fang. Fang's going, what's a 5-0? I can see the look on his face at the moment. He's been a skiff boy his whole life, sort of thing. So
can't talk about mentioning the dual world champion there. Who's won both?
In the 18s and the 5-0s? Nico.
Wasn't there? No, think again.
Martin Jones?
Not in recent years.
Howie Hamlin.
Yeah, Harry Hillary, good friend of the club, good friend of the 18s. He'll still be out in his 5-0, I'm sure.
Absolutely. He'll still be right at the bloody front of the fleet. He's got a young, super fit crew, so he's good. That's So, and that, you had Mike Martin, obviously, on sailing with Howie on that boat, and he's won, I think Mike not only 18, I think they won the Worlds, didn't they? They won a JJ's on the 18s from memory. So, and then Mike has won 5-0 Worlds as both a crew and a skipper, which I think is probably the only person that's ever done that. Very detailed. And Mike, for those who don't know, during the America's Cup coverage, all that data, where you could see the wind going across the course on the TV coverage, that was all, Mike was involved with that work, producing that. And I've had long discussions about that with him, and we're going to talk about it on the show, but he's just got a couple of people to pull together on that. But yeah, so there's heaps of overlap, hey? That's one of the great joys of the sport. But, I think the big thing is that the 18s are on. There is something called the Formula on this weekend, but ignore that because the 18s are on. You can, as you know, you have to fast forward through you watch the start of the Formula One and the last lap, whereas the 18s you've got to watch every minute. So there's no excuse. What are you going to do, BP? Are you going down this weekend?
Oh yeah, well I've got to get over there, and a merch pack rocked up.
Oh yes,
one of the first merch pack ever to rock up anywhere.
Yeah. Yep. So
I'll be floating around. I've actually got a bit of time next week. I've been busy preparing for this week's regatta with the big boats, but I'll floating around, so I'll be in touch with Harvey and the boys, and no doubt catch up with Simon, and it'll be good.
So, Fang, from your perspective, I'll go through each of you three here. Top three in your mind. Are you willing to say that? Is that a fire alarm? We've lost you. Hang on. Okay, go again. Sorry, it was interrupting the audio. Say that again.
Probably Balmain, Keegs. I'm not sure how Eli's travelling. I don't know. There's plenty of good boats. It just depends what the conditions are. Like Nearn was saying, if it's light, there's a lot of people who can win races.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Weather dependent.
So Keegs is Shaw and Partners Financial Services, and Eli is Shaw and Partners Financial Services. How do we tell them apart?
Big NZ on the sail. Eli will be flying the Kiwi flag.
Yep.
Two different offices going head to head.
Yeah, the office is the challenge.
Inter-office rivalry.
I love it. Gee, Shaw and Partners, they've sponsored some events lately, haven't they? They just popped up out of nowhere about 5 years ago. What about you, Simon? Your thoughts? Because Fang didn't mention him.
Podium at this stage is really tough. I mean, you definitely put this guy next to me on the podium, for sure. I think Henry Larkins is coming good at the right time. I think he's coming good, and I think I'm going to give the third spot to an overseas territory. I haven't seen Eli out yet, so I don't know how he's going to go, but I would put him up there. And I think Heinrich's going to surprise. I think he's put a lot of work in over a few years now. This is not just he hasn't just rocked up to try and do a regatta. He's been campaigning, and I think he'll be rewarded.
I don't think Heinrich will be any surprise at all. I think the Prince has been doing a ton of work, and it's starting to pay off. I think they're close, real close. Sorry, Frank, were you going to say something? Oh, sorry.
There's three.
Okay. And Harvey, from your perspective?
I'm afraid I can't offer any teams. I've got so little knowledge of who's going well, and so I wouldn't want to put a bet out there at all.
Okay, so where is Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast, going to finish? What's our goals?
Well, I think we've got to be if we can get 5 boats behind us in the first day, and then gradually work our way up, then that would be great.
Okay, so we're going for a mid-fleet. Is that what we're going for, the mid-fleet?
We're going for a mid-fleet, yeah, for the mighty Barkarati.
For the mighty Barkarati. Okay, now here's...
Worth mentioning, of course, the 18's got a big history in handicap racing, and there is a handicap trophy, much like you have for the Hobart and other great races like the Melbourne Cup. There's a handicap race going on. So
gift. I've had this
off on the Barkarati.
Something.
Now you're talking. That sounds like a target.
There we go.
That's something Woody's very passionate about, isn't it? He's always pushed that side of it, like it, and that's why you have in some of your club races where you've got the different marks, and so it's a handicapping version, so that will be important. So here's the element that we haven't discussed now that you've been on the show. So Fang, you've got a reverse curse, and Harvey, you've got a reverse curse. So when you come on Barcarata, you normally go out and win. So that is the reverse curse. So at the moment, I would suggest that we've got the winner overall and the winner of handicap on the broadcast, just based on the reverse curse element.
There we go.
I knew you were going to bring that up, and actually now the handicap thing's out there, that's made me feel a whole load better.
Well, as I said, it's a big deal for Woody. Like I've had a long conversation with Woody about this exact thing, and it is something.
The reverse curse?
No, about the handicap side of sailing. Like you've got to give everyone a chance at the front. And Woody said, exactly what you're saying, Simon. All the big races, the things that everyone watches in Australia, are all handicap races. So like the Melbourne Cup and the Storwell Gift and all those different things. The Sydney Hobart, they're all based on a rating. So yeah,
it's a big thing for you guys now, isn't it? You're going to have a dynamic rating system for us next.
Oh, we're working on that. Yeah, we've had some serious conversation about that, but irrelevant for the 18s. And Fang's going, what's this reverse curse thing? He's not quite sure. Trust me, it's very powerful. All right. What else, boys? What do we need to tell? Is there anything we haven't discussed that the punters should know?
About this going into this weekend? No, I think we've got it covered. I mean, like I say, 2:45 start. We're running over 10 days. From an 18s perspective, this doesn't run without. We mentioned a few of those sponsors, but it's a big corporate event for us as well. We've got a lot of partnerships out there, and they'll be down enjoying the hospitality and enjoying the harbour, enjoying the banter. I'm sure there's a lot of sort of tactical wizardry going on the top deck.
Oh, we love the banter.
We're looking forward to welcoming all the sponsors down and seeing so many overseas competitors. Awesome.
One thing we do have to, you raised a pretty critical point, something that we're big fans of. I do want to highlight one thing before I go on with my point. We didn't mention the Queenslanders, and I think I've got a soft spot for the Queenslanders. So as far as I'm concerned, first, second and third will be Queensland, just to throw that out into to throw a little bit of tension into the team. With Fang and Louis, I've completely forgotten my point. I went off and diverted about the Queenslander stuff, but it doesn't matter. So at least I made one point there, but I've completely forgotten what I was going to hit you with, Fang. There was something there. Oh, banter. That's it. Given you were saying you and Louis are pretty quiet, are you known? Do you throw the occasional sort of comment off the boat to your opposition?
I do mainly to drunks that are in our way. That's about it. We're pretty respectful of the sailing.
It's respectful of the sailing, but powerboaters, you're at risk, right? Is that what it is?
Oh, don't start.
And right. Harvey, one of the great things about our friends from the UK, very creative turn of phrase. Your ability to say something while sounding polite is one of your great skill sets. So are you known for banter off the boat at all?
Well, I actually have had the pleasure of sailing with people like Rollison as well. So you kind of you try and learn from the best, don't you? So, but obviously our banter's done with politeness and some real British etiquette. So you'll be able to hear us if we're asking people to move politely out the way on the race course.
Now, starboard, old chap.
Exactly.
Righto, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks very much for joining us, team. Have the best regatta to everyone involved, whether you're organising or sailing, and for the spectators and listeners, head on down. You won't have much more fun than on Sydney Harbour. And what a great way to spend some time, or just watch it online and comment. I think that would be a bit of the commentary. We can have banter in the comments. I think that would be good.
running too this year. So just to jump in there, but
Yep.
yeah, we've got the track running too. So if you're sitting at home and you've got a couple of screens up, you can actually look at the comparative boat speeds and angles and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool. That's cool.
That's
Bit
right.
of that going.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right. Well, we'll leave it there, gentlemen. And again, BP will be down representing Barkarati, well, except for our sailing team. We're obviously very excited about that. And I appreciate what you've done, Simon, and what Pat Langley's done from Vycobi to make that happen. But yeah, best of luck to everyone. Fang, I think we're pretty confident that you guys are going to have a good regatta. You're looking good. A full white picket fence, I suspect, could be a possibility, but I do think there's some threats out there. So best of luck, and we'll see how it goes in a week's time, 10 days' time.
Good on you, lads. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, gents.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It was a good discussion, my friend. And now we're back. We waited another day to give Mr. Bice a chance to come back at us. We've had patchy comms from the boy, but he's not.
Well, I distinctly remember this last year.
he's
It
in the
just
Caribbean.
happens to be the Caribbean.
Yeah, the steel drums are
It's
playing.
okay. Hey, it's okay when he's at big parties and he's got Richard Branson and the pianos on the boat. He sends out all sorts of information.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Anyway, he's not around. It's a shame because we wanted to get a full debrief on it, but on what's going on. But we can zero in. So when we recorded, it was going to be invitation day for the 18s, and we've had the invite and race one as we record. So it's Saturday night for you and me. You've had a big day on the harbour. What was it like for you today, my friend?
oh, it was well, to be honest with you, absolutely lovely sailing. I was on a IRC modified IC37, which is the New York Yacht Club one design boat.
Yep.
The one that I've been doing a bit of work on. First regatta, Sydney Harbour regatta, first race today. And
Where's that out of?
Middle Harbour.
Oh, yeah.
We were racing up in the Sound in off of the heads there, which was nice, but a bit sloppy. Can be a bit sloppy, but it was okay.
Very bumpy out there. Yeah.
We had a really good start. I think we're sitting at third at the moment overall. I think there's about 7 or 8 boats in that division, so that's not bad for our first ever effort. Sailing in against some of the fast 40s, so that's good.
Yeah. Cool.
And then we managed, as you just touched on. Obviously, we started off this episode yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Which is Friday morning. It's now currently Saturday evening.
Yep.
So we as a team, when we came back and finished our racing, we managed to go and watch the start of Heat 1 today.
Oh, you got that? Oh, okay. So you
would have seen us on TV. All of you listeners out there, go and watch race 1. You'll see us on TV.
Yeah, okay. So you watched the actual start because you were giving me a debrief of the start just then, and so that was from watching it live. You saw it all live.
Yeah, saw it all live. There was, as you know, there was a general.
Yeah.
Oh, what a spectacle! I mean, you just got to love it. So today's conditions were relatively light, even where we were. It
Very
was probably
light, patchy.
9 knots, 9 to 10 knots.
What's going on with the weather in Sydney? It's all grey and no wind.
Yeah,
it's gone away.
I don't know, mate. It's been weird for a while. But hey, anyway, is what it is. You just deal with it.
Yeah, I think there's a southerly or something probably coming up soon.
There's one coming in tomorrow. It's dying out. It was
right.
It was a bit nukey at the start about 4 days ago. Now it's down to sort of 16 knots. So I'm happy.
So we had a reverse curse.
To be honest, I'm absolutely broken.
Yeah, I thought you might be. So we had a good conversation. It was enjoyable talking about all the JJ stuff. Obviously the big surprise that there is a Barkarati boat in the event, and that we'll touch on that in a sec. We'll come to how that all came about because there's a fair bit going on there. But yesterday, invite race, the boys stone motherless, basically fought out for last and second last, and then
there was only 17 boats out there in the end, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah, but
and they got a 16th.
And today, full 27 boats in the whole fleet's out there, and I thought they did pretty well. You know, they pulled the gear together. You know, they're not really experts in the boat. They end up 20th, but they had flashes of brilliance, and they were looking close. They had there, but for the odd shift or two, they could have been right there. So I was pretty happy. And
well, as I touched on then, I did manage to get there and watch the racing. There's no doubt that, you know, technology's moved on, and, you know, they're racing with some older gear. There's no question there at all. So they will be lacking in that, you know, that 1% of boat speed.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But in saying that, you know, I was there because I actually went around there Friday morning after we did the record and dropped off the merch. The merch pack arrived. The first ever merch pack.
Oh yeah, no, I posted it.
So it arrived.
Both Bicey posted some and I posted some. So
yeah, and I delivered.
Yeah, that's it.
So anyway, look, it's you know, and hats off to all the internationals. I mean, it's a huge effort. You know, but that's what makes the JJs more and more attractive. And as we touched on then before with Sean, if you're interested in giving it a crack, they will bend over backwards to get you here.
Yeah, that's good. From a result perspective, so on the reverse curse, the Yandoo straight to the front.
Well, I'm wondering has he gone too early?
No. They did a lot of firsts last year, but
no, I'm just talking about reverse curse. Do you think that was just he's still got the reverse curse?
I was just going to say it's all due to us, but obviously the Yandoo's won it the last couple of years, so maybe they're not worried about the reverse curse at this stage. But
no, he was worried about it when we were talking about it. He reckons they've stepped up because he's had to share information.
On the handicap, so we were trying to see if we could get the reverse curse to apply one for the...
Well, I think we're looking good, aren't we?
No, not as good as I thought we were going to. So Brett Van Munster and the Fisher-Paykel team got the first on the handicap as far as I can work out. Oh, he's got the same handicap as the boys.
How?
I'm not the handicapper. I'm just telling you what I'm saying. I'm looking at the handicaps right now. Keegan's second on handicap. And then the Rag and Famish, the youngsters on the Rag and Famish coming through, they were third handicap. So
that'll all change tomorrow. So I think they wait for the first race. It's a lucky draw in the first race.
Yeah, our lads came 13th overall, but there's a whole bunch of boats behind them on handicap. So
no, to get 20th in the first race is a good thing for your handicap.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, look, they showed improvement. I thought their rig setup looked a lot better.
If next week we've got number one in both, I will laugh.
It'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, obviously, to help the boys, you would have dropped off a bit of the Radix nutrition to get the lads over, give them that vitality, because it is designed to support.
So I sometimes thinks the lighter air is it can be more challenging and bending in all the time. When you're out there on the wire and, you know, flat back, it's quite comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Radix, you can actually go and choose, you can choose like health and vitality or endurance and high performance. And so you can actually, you can go for like a protein centered around a foundational nutrition for everyday strength, energy and resilience, or you can go the purpose-built nutrition for endurance, recovery and extreme conditions. So it's pretty good gear. If you want to try it out, go to Radix Nutrition, the website, just search for Radix Nutrition, it'll pop up, and use Barker80, it's the discount code, one word, make it one word and go from there. Very, very
well, what about all these sailors? What about all these sailors doing the regatta this week? So there's 100 sailors out there. Yeah. And a lot of them would run businesses, don't you think?
Oh, well, I was going to come back to that. I've got a better segue, so you leave that to me for that one.
Can you, boy? You always... All right, go on then.
No. Let's move on to a couple of the events. I'm going to come back to that in hot time because
all right,
we have to trust me. You'll respect it. You'll respect it.
Okay. You think about this all the time. You think about this every day, don't you?
Well, I'm just here trying to keep this together and flowing, my friend. Other news.
Come on.
The IQ Foil International Games are this week. That'll be
Cardiff.
good. Yeah.
Cardiff.
Yeah. That'll be good.
South of Spain, absolutely glorious place to sail.
Yeah. Your expertise in that region. as well. So that is going to be one cool.
Cadiz was a bit more sort of on land for me.
They?
It was a bit more sort of local festivities orientated.
Right. But
still a lovely place to sail.
Still a lovely place to sail. Yeah. So that's going to be a good one to watch. I do want to give a plug to my favourite race. Obviously, we give the Adelaide Lincoln quite a beat up, and then we switch on to the Gladstone Ports Corporation Brisbane to Gladstone Yacht Race. It's the 78th running. It starts on the 3rd of April, so 308 nautical miles. I haven't done the weather forecast yet, but I'm willing to bet that it's a downwinder and it's going to be a ton of fun. Warm, lovely.
Well, it is Easter, isn't it?
Yeah, Easter.
When's that? When is Easter?
3rd of April's Friday when the race starts. So, live stream. There'll be some pretty cool boats entered into that one. So, again, keep your eye out for that one.
Race. It's on my bucket list, that race. Trust me.
Yeah, it's definitely one you should do. Trust me, it is a great race. And when you get to Gladstone, it's a good yacht club just to sit back and have a relax and a chat. And, it's got that beautiful outdoor area and a great upstairs bar. And, it's just fun, all the things you look for. So it's going to be pretty good. Most of the boats have been doing a few little, like the Surf to City race that I did the other week. They're all sort of starting to warm up and get themselves ready.
Feeding themselves into the regatta.
That's it. So getting fired up. But anyway, they're the events coming up. Listener of the week, Jack Lloyd, Listener of the Week, my friend.
Oh, mate.
It's time to announce our winner for the month.
Because, is it?
Yeah, Vycabi provide a ton of gear, as we know, a couple of $100 each month, and Pat and the team at Vycabi spoil us rotten, and we give it all to you. We don't keep any of it. They do make some amazing product. If you're looking for new gear, bags, technical gear, anything that you need to go yachting.
I had one of the new hats on today.
Yeah?
One of the breathables.
Yeah, that's cool. I got this little wet top, it's just it's got no sleeves. It's just almost like a poncho.
Kind of like a mankini.
Yeah, no.
Do they do mankinis?
For rain, like a rain top, and it's just quickly throw it. It's not quite a vest. It zips up like a normal jacket, but Anyway, 3/4 zip sort of thing. But it was cool. It was bucketing down with rain, and we were going to the shops, and the wife grabbed a poncho, and I just threw this thing on, and we were cool. Queensland weather, humidity was high, as we discussed.
Cool.
We have had some great entries, and we got a few great emails just come in this week. One, like Will Bateman was just talking about growing sailing, and Andy Devola, Dolly was sending us notes about about the Sail GP, whether it's going to be in Sydney. There's some rumours flying around, and I can't give the answer. I only know the rumours. Will Bateman, gent, still loving your work. Looking forward to dodging hypothermia on Lake Burley Griffin. So Will's the fin sailor from Canberra that won a month ago, and he's looking forward to dodging hypothermia on Lake Burley Griffin in winter with my super warm Vycabi wetsuit. Listen back to the pod on a long drive, particularly the bring back sailing ones with Adrian and Scott. A point in the conversation about the risks of sport longevity from focusing too much on eliteness and not togetherness made sense. So these are old episodes by a couple of our most passionate listeners on how to keep growing the sport, people that live it at the coalface. It occurred to me that one thing humans generally like is racing against people of similar speed. In sports like kayaking and rowing, you have the finals, which ends up in finals A, B, C, D, etc. This means that the super elite people can still go hard, but the people still developing can have the thrill of racing without being blown out the back. It also gives people intermediate goals to achieve, like moving from final C to B. It's kind of like the green fleet and stuff in the Opties, hey? Moving through those fleets. Sailing taps into the natural competitive spark in people, but the people enjoy feeling like success is within reach, even if only in one race division, not against the whole fleet. For the people in rowing, kayaking. So he's talking about this format. Now, because he's relatively new to sailing, he probably hasn't done much big fleet stuff. And Often what will happen is you will have gold and silver fleets at World Champs. They split up. They do have gold medal races at the Olympics sort of stuff. So the final race, and if that was the format, you could have multiple ones down. But I get what you're saying. I'm not quite sure how it would work. There's a lot more administration into it. But he's suggesting it's relatively easy in multi-race days. My club runs a few of these point score series. It would still be possible to have the whole fleet racing where you learn a lot from the big guns, but I know it'd be more attractive to people coming to the sport. So he's throwing some ideas out there, and we appreciate that. What do you think, Bud?
Well, what I appreciate is that he's saying he's relatively new to the sport, and he's already thinking about how to get more people into the sport because he as a newcomer he sees the things that we just sort of seem to take for granted because that's not how we don't even ever worry about it,
Yeah. By the way, all the people that messaged me, I was trying to remember the name of the commentator that did all the wrestling and surf lifesaving. I kept saying his name was Ray, but I got so many emails saying Darryl Eastlake, which is exactly who I was thinking of.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Thank you everyone that sent that in.
Big Jack Gibson's hit me and I've gone crashing to the deck.
Sammy H.
That's an in-house joke. Only really the Australians will understand that one.
Sammy H, good afternoon. Thanks for your recent episodes with Aussie
Sammy Hunt, of course, ladies and gentlemen, who was with us for the Sydney Harbour.
Yep. Aussie Larrikins, Knocker and Willie Mack reporting from Langkawi, Malaysia, where we're packing up Ray Roberts' TP52 Team Hollywood after a successful week in Phuket at the 29th Bay Regatta. This keelboat and multi-hull event is sailed in the beautiful waters of Phang Nga Bay, east of Phuket. It's a travelling event starting in, oh God, he's doing me over here, Aopo Marina.
You can do it, mate. You can do it.
In the north of Phuket, racing over the sleepy island of Koh Yao for one night, and then a passage to the very busy and famous Ao Nang or Krabi. He's doing me
Krabi.
over. Racing around spectacular islands of Krabi. We stay 2 nights there, and then the regatta concludes with a passage race finish in Ao Cha Long in the southern part of Peking. There were 34 entries this year, with everything ranging from our 2015 JV TP52 gun to a knife fight to cruising monohulls and cats and everything in between. Challenging logistically. Have you ever seen a TP52 race with a dinghy packed up on the stern and a 15 horsepower outboard and anchor and chain down below? With different hotels almost every night, but awesome fun. Organisers, Regatta Asia, put on drinks, food every night. Importantly, the racing is spectacular. If anyone is in Asia for some yachting, you could string together an amazing run of events in this area, all within 150 nautical mile radius. There are lift-out facilities, plenty of assistance to get fixed. So Raja Muda in mid-November, King's Cup in Phuket in December, Royal Langkawi in mid-Jan, and then Bay Regatta, Thailand, mid-Feb. So that is a good program. I know plenty of people who get involved in that one.
Done a lot of stuff up there, and the Raja Muda is a fantastic week of sailing. And you go to the coolest places, and they do put on a pretty wild sort of entertainment. After each race, it's not like here. It's not like anywhere else in the world, to be honest. It's very festive orientated, and every night is a different place, and every night is a feast.
Very true. It looks cool. Very cool. Here's a good one we got this week. Todd Martin, listen to your podcast for the first time today. Great content. I am a fan of the 18-footers and am following the JJs. Your boat was right in the mix today in today's invitation race. My team is Black Knight from Bavaria. They're putting in a huge effort to compete coming out of the German deep freeze winter to go all in Sydney. An interview with them on your show would be stellar. Keep it up and thanks again. Great idea, Todd.
Well, I've got to say, Todd, I actually did bump into these lads last year.
Yeah.
When they were here, and I did say let's they actually listened to the show, and I said to them, let's catch up. Obviously, things happen and things move away, but it's a good point because I'd love to speak to them because they're super cool kids as well. They're fantastic.
I have messaged the Prince twice in the past to try and get him on the show because I have been watching their improvement. So yeah, we're definitely keen to get him on the show. Is the answer? So just hang on, my friend. It might happen. Right, what's this one? Oh. Quick one from Mark Wheeler. Where is this week's podcast? My Monday drive to work lacked a lot this week. Anyway, let me tell you, it
Not
was
the only one, I'm pretty sure. There's been, I hear this all the time and out and about. Where was the week? Where was it? You wrecked my week.
We just couldn't pull it together. I was a nightmare. I was working from dawn till very, very late at night every day, and I just couldn't fit it in. And I couldn't tie in with BP and Bicey's timing, and I'm the guy with all the important recording equipment. So it's probably on me this week. No, because I was actually out leisurely watching the Sail GP, and there's no way I'm going to go away from that. Yeah. No, that's right.
I was busy. I can tell you that.
We didn't even get to catch up.
I had to. Well, I mean, we arrived. I had to eat the fresh tomato and basil with hummus.
Yes,
and that took a bit of concentration. Then I moved straight over towards the prawns and oysters. So I was busy.
Yeah, no, you were working hard. I
and
appreciate your effort.
The cheeses, some of the cheeses we had. Wow. Oh, of course. Then there was the odd white wine.
Yep. Mark wrote about, he's on the board of the Offshore Racing WA, and they have a speaker spot available in May. He said Sam Haynes, Will Oxley and Ian Thorpe are unavailable, looking for alternatives, and asked if we'd be interested. So we'll have to work that one out if we can fit it in.
Well, I actually did respond to him. I sent him a message because I'm going to be in California for the California Race Week. Competing on the Far X2 there, double-handed. So I'm out. So I've tipped you in, Jay.
Oh,
so Jay loves a chat.
Likely, at that date, exact date and time, I will be in the US. So we're going to struggle, but we'd love to do it sometime. I'm actually going to be in Western Australia in the first weekend of October. I'll be there. 4th of October. So if that ties in, that might work. But
we'll just send Bicey.
Yeah. Bicey doesn't do enough travelling.
Well, you could send him home. We'll make sure we get the date right, and we'll organise it and send him home via Perth.
Yeah. That could work.
Anyway.
Yeah.
On with the show.
All right. So winner of the month. Right. I got to find it because this is a long time ago now. It was the start of the month. So I got to find where this bloody thing went. Maybe if I do a search. But this is the story of how the 18-foot skiff thing has come about. And I thought you guys would be interested. I think I've got it here. So here we go. Right.
Yeah, waiting.
No. I know. We're doing this live, and I hate editing, okay. And the listeners don't like me editing. Okay, hi, guys. I'm doing the JJ with another long-term listener, Harvey Hillary and Stu Keegan, who are both flying out from the UK to join me as the only British team this year. We are in a loan boat from the league, and as we have never sailed together, and Stu has never sailed in 18 before, we have booked in a full 2 days training time together before the racing starts.
Good on you, lads.
So for us, this is a great opportunity to race amazing boats in a stunning venue at what is probably the most iconic skiff event there is. Our expectations are low given the standard of the fleet and our lack of time in the boat. I last sailed the JJs in 2012, Harvey in 2004. So our target is to improve as the week goes on. We don't have a sponsor, obviously. How about Barcarati? Put a merch pack in the post, maybe some pre-race Radix and some post-race Sailors Lagers, and we'll be happy to be Team Barcarati. That was it. That was the negotiation. We wrote back, yes. I will say, in reality, and just so you know, that email was straight away the listener of the month because we thought that was an absolute rip snort. Our favourite email of the month, obviously, one of our favourite emails of all time to get that one. And we appreciate the guys reaching out to us. Really don't care how they go. We're just stoked to have occasionally Barcarati mentioned by the comms. Dolly's is covering off on us a bit. The boys are covering us. They're giving us a nice little chat, which we appreciate. The 18 guys are super friendly to us, as you can tell. And so, yeah, we love that. So those boys, and I will say, we decided straight away, we knew there was no email going to beat that, and we reached out to Pat, and Pat stepped up massively and helped out with that 18, which I think I mentioned in the interview, and we're super grateful for the Vycobi support. He hasn't even invoiced us for any of the stuff he's, like all the stickers on the sales and stuff, so I'm hoping we'll hear from him on that, but yeah, great. It was a great email.
Well, the only way I actually picked them out in the yard there was obviously I knew it was a red boat, but I saw the Barkarati hoodie, not hoodies, the what are they called? The
retro
t-shirts with,
the retro ones?
No, the hood ones.
Oh yeah. Oh, they got some of the sun shirts.
The sun shirts,
yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Hey, listen, international listeners, do yourself a favour and get one of those Barkarati logoed up.
Sun shirts.
Hooded sun shirts. They are so good. I wear them just about every day on the boat.
They're so good. I did about 10 hours trimming in that race I did a few weeks ago, and if I hadn't had my sun shirt on, I would not have survived. It was the best thing in the world. All you have to do if you want one of those, just go to the Vycobi website, look up their sun shirts, and then you can get it logoed up. It's a link there for the Barkarati one. But anyway, so yeah, congratulations. They're the listeners of the month, and well deserved. I don't think anyone would argue. Some may accuse us of bias, but in reality, it was the best email of the month. But yeah, very, very happy, and good luck to the boys. We'll be updating, but hopefully everyone's tuning into the JJs and enjoying it.
Ole, 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 ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot. It's hot time with Bice. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Nah. Yeah, nah.
So GP, Sydney, mate, what'd you think?
Oh, well, I mean, I've got to say, I watched it obviously on TV on the Saturday, and I thought it was, it was good. It was some good sailing. Sunday, on the other side of it, we went out obviously and watched it on a boat. First time I've ever done that. Numbers were down. I think that in the past it's just super busy. And I think everyone's just gone, I'd rather just watch it on TV, go to a yacht club and watch it on TV. But it was still very cool.
Light winds,
tough wet tire.
Oh, the light winds, we had Freo and then we had Auckland and then we go back to light winds. It was just a little frustrating, but I was having the best time.
Super frustrating, but it was still great. And I tell you what, though, hats off to the US. I mean, I watched the whole day.
Mad congratulations. Good guys.
I watched the whole day, and they were thereabouts in every race. Now, tough conditions. I'm not going to lie. Tough conditions. And the starts were just absolutely key. And they had a cracking day. So, it was well-deserved for sure.
Yeah.
And same with the GBR. I mean, they were just there the whole time.
The irony of the US winning on the weekend where the US start blowing up Iran, and I can tell you, Sunday morning on the site, everyone was suddenly on their all the staff are trying to on their phones. People were distracted at work, I'll tell you, because they're all trying to work out how they're going to get home. It was many people trying.
We don't want to go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah. So,
but, on the flip side, how happy they were. I mean, the presentation was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The level of stoke was pretty high.
Yeah. I was happy. I was super happy for them because, as I said,
100%
consistently, they're the most approachable team in the paddock, and they go out of their way to help. So, we're very lucky because we do get quite close to a lot of these guys, and you're sitting there having a rest, and next thing you know, some of the team just plonk down and sit there with you and start chatting away. It's quite nice. It's still that friendly vibe, so it's good fun. But yeah, congrats to the US. We move to Rio. That's the next event. France will likely be back together. That boat is in at Southerns. I know a lot of work that's going on. But Kiwi boat, there is no idea when that's coming back. There's nothing. There's been no discussion, so no word has filtered out. So all the Kiwi fans cannot tell you. I've got no inside goss, pretty certain France will be there in Rio. But yeah, that's where we're up. So pretty cool setup. It's great fun. Good fun hanging out at Sail GP. It is a great event. So yeah, big fan of it. The other one that's on at the moment is the Bacardi Cup, my friend, the Stars. We've got, at time of recording, I think we've got like one race left, and it's between Kayard and Shite, those two have been dominant. And so only one of those two boats can win. So that's one for if you're into that stuff, jump on. It's definitely happening.
Bacardi Cup, that's the Stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Well, that's pretty incredible, and because that event is a super highlight on their calendar.
Absolutely, one of their major events.
And to get your name on that trophy, well, look at the names that are there.
Yeah, incredible event. Yeah. And then we've had the first day of racing with the Super Yacht Challenge in Antigua. So they had like 27 knots. It was full on, and a couple of races, the Round Antigua race, which is like just short of 50 nautical miles, and the Half Island race is about 33 nautical miles. Plenty. It's just solid trade wind conditions, solid sea.
According to Bice, they'd just get the sails up on the boat.
Well, here's this: the performance of the day was. I'm reading this from Sail World's report, so I want to acknowledge that because Bice hasn't turned up.
World.
And Bice hasn't turned up to give us the input. So if I can just quote them, performance of the day came from the 218-foot ketch Heteris, which is the boat Bice is on. He is the captain of the mizzen team.
He is the captain of the mizzen team, and he no doubt was the absolute reason why he got the reward.
Well, they completed the course in 3 hours, 46 minutes with a crew of 47 sailors. 47 sailors. Now, my good friend, 47 sailors, there'd be probably 40 of those have sailing businesses. And so, though there's 47 people.
Now I know why. Yeah, go on.
That need our friends at Disruptor Marine Marketing, because that is the exact sort of person where they're busy racing a 200 plus foot catch, gorgeous
with
catch.
47 other people.
If you haven't seen this thing in real life, it is just amazing.
I've seen it.
And it's just gorgeous. And so if you're stuck in the Caribbean trying to get your work done, like Mr. Bice, you can install a 24/7 AI receptionist, never miss a call or an inquiry, and they'll set up a referral system that doubles your referred leads in 60 days. Bice is kicking goals in his job, and we know why, because he's got the Bice bot going. It's very simple. There's a free 30-minute demo you can try. All you have to do is go to disruptormarinemarketing.com.au. Disruptor is DISRUPTA, and try it out. It'll change your life. It'll make you more money. So that's the simple answer to that. They're pretty much guaranteeing it'll make you more money.
This is global too, by the way. This is not
global.
Just Australia.
Yeah, just because it says .com.au, it's 100% global. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Cool.
That's it for me. So, Bossy, I've jumped on and had a look at the photos from the boat, and I found a photo of the mizzen, but I can't see Bossy in the crew. But there's a lot of people on that boat. So
he's downstairs preparing the horse duvers.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's preparing the horse duvers and canapes.
That's it. That's exactly
right.
Right.
Maybe he's making that new cocktail you were talking about.
Yeah. That's it. Actually, I went and bought. Yeah. Anyway, I won't get distracted. I do want to say once we get comms with our illustrious colleague, we'll do a full rundown of everything that's going on over there. We'll get
I'm pretty sure we'll get a rundown. We usually do.
Yeah, that'll be the go.
It's like a whirlwind, though. It's like the Tasmanian devil out of the Bugs Bunny.
It's too good. But that's it for me, bud. You got anything else?
See you later. No, I'm good.
See you later.
I'm going straight to La Cama.
Okay.
Which is bed in Spanish.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and do it all again.
Beautiful. Well, you enjoy. Have a good day sailing tomorrow. Everyone can tune in for the JJ's race 2. It's definitely one tomorrow as well. Just jump on to the 18 Skiff webpage or YouTube.
Sporting extravaganza with the Melbourne Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, well, I watch it. You know, when they've got all that dead time with the Grand Prix stuff, I was watching the racing and then I'd switch back when there was actually cars going around, and then it was perfect. If
you had a cocktail and legs up on a puff, you'd be fine.
Oh dear. That is a footrest in Australian language.
It is a footrest. That's right.
That's for everyone out there. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in and listening. Reach out to us at cheers@barkarate.com. Thanks to Vycobi particularly. We've loved you this month. Check out their website, and the sun shirts should be, as BP said, all time. What else?
Radix Nutrition. I'm done. I'm cooked.
And Disruptor Marine Marketing. We love your work. Speak to you next week. And
cheers.
Good luck to everyone.